All right, guys, we are recording. So tonight we have our incredible special guest, Mr. Brandon Barber, who I have been blessed to have met and have been working with for over a year. And I know a lot of us just did the Fearless event with him in Atlanta, and he took us through what is up with our mindset and some self-sabotaging that we do and the things that get us stuck in our blind spots. And he really laid it out in that last presentation. And we invited everybody to take the free assessment to really show you ours. So if you have your assessment, I really encourage you to have it with you. And so he's going to go through a little bit of that and then offer what I had an idea because I just so know the value that Brandon has brought to me and other leaders and people that I know that Brandon has just changed their life and the differences in their happiness and their business growth and their relationship growth and their marriage growth. I was like, I just want as many people in my organization as possible to have access to this man. And so he has worked with me. And so an incredible gift offer too at the end. So Brandon, my brother, take it away and go through this crazy assessment. How do you know these things with this? So this is a special Monday night call. So yeah, we're excited to have you.
Thanks again, Casey. I totally appreciate you trusting me with these folks and what you stick around to the end, guys, because what Casey has created for you guys is really special. So towards the end of this call, we're going to give you a really cool surprise. So if you've taken your assessment, pull it up now. You can pull it up online. If you got it printed out, that's cool. If you don't have your assessment and you're going, I don't even know what you're talking about, this crazy assessment thing, you can take it after we're done. And this will still have value even if you haven't taken the assessment. So if for some reason you haven't taken it, no worries. You can take it when we're done. But I would encourage you, if you've got your assessment, pull it out right now. And I have this, I have the chat section open. So if anybody wants to type in a chat, anybody has any questions, you can come off mute. Don't hesitate to ask along the way. I would encourage this to be like as open forum as possible. So for those of you who weren't on the last call and you don't even know what I'm talking about, there's an assessment on our website, brandonbarbercoaching.com. It's absolutely free to you. And it's assessment that measures how you think. It's not a personality thing. It's not and we'll get into the craziness of it. I'll dig in a minute. But it's not, and just like we talked about in the last call, it doesn't tell us anything other than what's subconsciously going on in your thought process, which is pretty important, right? To know what's going on in your brain. So I'm not here to share anything with you more than mindset stuff. I'm not here to help you run your business better. Although when your mindset's in a different place, you tend to run your mindset or run your business a little bit better. I'm not here to give you any business skills, right? You guys have the business skill set. You get that. This is all about your mind. So feel free to chime in at any time, but pull your assessment up. Now, here's the thing. You jumped on tonight to better yourself. For whatever reason, whether you knew I was going to be here or not, you got on here to better yourself. One of my favorite sayings is success is a conscious choice. So do me a favor, pick your right hand up. Yeah, that's you, everybody. Your right hand, it's this hand. Pick your hand up and wrap it around and pat yourself on the back and say, good choice for being here. Give yourself a little extra pat, like, yeah, good job. You're here. You did it. You're working on you. You don't give yourself enough credit at times. Okay. Okay. Casey said she feels like she's got massive business skills from you, planning, power sessions, multitasking, connecting, communications. Yes, we just aren't telling you how to go run your business. That's all. We're not going to give you the social media, like do this and this and this, right? It's all mindset stuff. So it's subconscious. This is what we're talking about. The subconscious mind. Now, the subconscious mind, I defined this a little bit last time. I love this picture because it's like, it has me like totally adjusting to this pain that I had in my right hip a few years back. had this massive pain in my right hip and I couldn't function properly. I couldn't walk, couldn't sleep, couldn't stand. And went to the doctor, got all these tests. Doctor came back, said there's nothing wrong with your hip. Got a second opinion, same thing, there's nothing wrong with your hip. So I went to a physical therapist and went in and said the same thing to her. I got a problem with my hip, and she said, there's nothing wrong with your hip. Some of you have heard this over and over again, but it's so important. She did say, however, I know what's causing the pain in your right hip. There's nothing wrong with your hip, but what is going on is there's something going on with your left foot. And for the next 6 months, I literally worked on my left foot. She worked on my left foot. And every time I was in pain, I was like, no, the pain's here in my hip. I need you to work here in my pain, like right here. No, it's the left foot causing the pain. It's the left foot causing the problem. Totally unrelated, it felt like, to my right hip, but it was the problem. In fact, for the next 6 months, all we did is work on my left foot. I did exercises on my left foot, and the pain in my right hip went away. How many of you have had physical situations similar to this? Something else was causing the pain, and you found it, and it was like that was the source, but it wasn't where the pain was. Mentally, it's the same thing. So if you're having stuff go on pain-wise financially, pain-wise in your business, pain-wise in your relationships, chances of it being some left foot are 100% probably the real culprit, right? There's something else going on. Subconsciously, there's something causing the pain. If you're not aware of what it is, then you keep having the same experience. You keep having the pain. If somebody didn't tell me my left foot was the source, I would have had no idea that was what was going on. So we're going to dig into where the source is today. You took an assessment, crazy assessment, that literally told us where the pain, or where the source of what's causing the pain, where the left foot is, if you will. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Subconsciously, you took this crazy, wacky, what is that thing, right? Blowing up an airliner and a good meal and a baby, and I like my work, it does me good. And like, what was that stuff? You were just ranking things around. And most of you probably went through it like this. You said, all right, here we go. I got to get ready and take this assessment. It's one of those things that's going to take a while. You went through 2 sets of statements, you ranked them, and you went, wait, is that it? You hit submit and went, there's got to be more to this thing. Like for some of you, it literally took you 6 minutes to take. And you're like, this is crazy. Like 6 minutes, somebody can tell how I'm thinking. Well, the truth is yes, because your conscious mind is what moved things around, but your subconscious put value on those things. And your subconscious can put value on those things in a split second. So yes, you only rank 36 statements, but based on the science of axiology, which means once you value something, we know how you think, we've identified at a core the stuff that's getting in your way, slowing you down and holding you back. The left foot has been revealed. So if you look at your assessment, and you can do all your research on axiology if you want and study it, but if you look at your assessment, you have 4 colors in your assessment. You have green, yellow, orange, and red. Now we're talking about brain. Your brain, we've said subconscious thought processes, not personality, not anything more than what's going on in your brain. Green means your brain is giving you good advice. Yellow means there's some risk and it's pushing a little bit to follow the bad advice. Orange, there's way more risk and your brain's pushing a little bit more to follow the advice. And then the red stuff, guys, that's the stuff that's out here to the left or right all the way. And those are usually blind spots for people. They're not aware, but that's the stuff that's absolutely getting in your way and slowing you down. That's the stuff that your brain is insisting that you follow bad advice. Now, if you printed this off, you'll have green, yellow, orange, and red, or if you have it on your computer, you'll have those colors. If you have any blue, all I would tell you is it's time to change your printer cartridge because there should be no blue in your assessment, right? It should be green, yellow, orange, and red. All right, let's keep going. So at the bottom of each one of these pages is a clarity score. It's not a grade. So it didn't tell us how well you're doing in life. It didn't tell us whether or not you're getting an A or a D plus in life. It just tells us overall how balanced the thought process is. Now, here's what's important. You want to know these bars that are off to the left, to the right. You want to be aware, like, what's going on. The idea is to be balanced, but not today. Today, the idea is to recognize and be aware of where the bars are. Once you're aware, then the concept is to balance them out. But today, I don't want you to think, gosh, what's wrong with me? I'm not more balanced. The good news is we're identifying the left foot. So yes, once you're aware of it, then the idea is to balance it out. But right now, it's just to get clear about where these bars are. Doesn't matter which direction they go in. Let me repeat that. It doesn't matter which direction they go in. So if you look at this top bar is saying your brain is giving bad advice, and it's pushing for you to follow that advice pretty strongly. The one below it, you're getting bad advice, and your brain's insisting that you follow the bad advice, right? And you look down at the third bar right here, and that one's also insisting, but it goes to the right. They just mean different things. Left is undervalue, right is undervalue, but don't worry about that. Don't write that down. That's just confusing. That'll just cause more confusion. It's green, good. Anywhere it moves out of that is potentially bad advice. And the further out that it goes, it's harder it's pushing. So before we jump in and go through any of these bars, does anybody have any questions about how the assessment's set up or anything to do with any of these bars at all? Does anybody have any questions at all? No question's a dumb question. You don't have to type it in. In fact, I would just hit unmute and you can ask the question. Anybody have questions about how they took it or when they took it? Or are some of you thinking, if I took it when I'm in a good mood or a bad mood, would it make a difference? And the answer is no. When you take it every 3 to 6 months, does it change? Yes, it can change. In fact, if some of you go through our coaching process, you go through it, and then after 6 months, you take the assessment again, and not only do you feel more balanced, but it shows up in the assessment. So you will be balanced in all these other areas. So it changes over time, but not day to day. Anybody have any questions? Nobody has any questions? Everybody's good? A lot of you have done this and you've taken this and you're like, all right, jump in, keep going. So
Brandon,
10 more seconds. Oh, I knew somebody had a question somewhere. Go for it.
Brandon, this is Robert. I got a question. I was wondering, does it not only assess you based on the order you put them in, but how you take the test, like how often you move them, how far you move them, how you separate them into categories, and then maybe reorient the lower half and the upper half in a specific order? Does it assess how you take the test?
Yes. The answer is yes. So to some degree, if you moved everything around 50 million times, we know you have a little tendency to overthink things. But there's not as much emphasis on that as where you put things. But there is a little bit on how you took it. Yes. So it is smart enough to understand how you took the assessment.
Thank you.
But there's not as much impact. You won't see as many bars going in different directions as if you just where you rank them. Good question. Any other questions? This is a great time, guys. If I'm accurate and this report is absolutely telling us every single one of your subconscious areas that's getting in your way or slowing you down or holding you back, then nobody has any questions? You sure? Okay. We'll keep digging in then. We'll keep jumping in. So hang on. Somebody was like multitasking and they're like, what's this annotate button? Hang on. Somebody drew a big line in the middle of it. That's always fun. All right. I erased it. We're good. Okay. So let's look at the first section, which says connection. So go to connection, which is just page 2, or if you're looking at it online, you can look at it and it's in the outer world section. So you look at connection and look at your assessment. Again, this is not you, it's brain, right? Now we're going to move through this stuff pretty quick. right? We're going to go through these areas, 6 areas pretty fast. We're not going to cover every single bar. So if we don't cover your bar, there's a couple of really cool things you can do. The report that has the multiple pages, you can go look and that'll give you more details about what that is saying. Or you can always schedule time for one of my team to go through the report with you line by line. But we're going to go through most of the areas that most of you have some significant imbalance. So we won't go through every bar. So let's say I say, hey, top bar is off to the left. You might go, what if it's off to the right? Do me a favor, look at your bigger report, or you can always email me. In fact, I'll put an email address right here where you can email if you have any questions at all, at any time about anything we talk about today. You can email this email address and ask any questions. So support, I put it in the notes, support@brandonbarbercoaching.com. Save that. You can send it. You can send any question you have about anything, and I'll actually see that and respond. Okay, so connection. How many of you have this top bar off to the left? Raise your hand. Let me ask it differently. How many of you have this top bar balanced so it's in the green? Raise your hand. Okay, thanks, Joy. Who else we got? We got a few other people. Okay, so what that means, some of you are not going to raise your hand for anything. That's okay. We'll work on that. But if you're balanced, it means you've got this great advice your brain's giving you about being empathetic. And it's saying, now listen, it doesn't, if you're off to the left or right, and you actually can't go to the right, there's no way you can go to the right. In fact, if you look to the right means NA. You can't be too empathetic. You can be too sympathetic, but you can't be too empathetic. But it's off to the left, your brain's saying, my trust has been broken somewhere, and therefore your brain is telling you to be guarded and protect yourself. It's telling you to not truly be vulnerable and authentic. Now, it might be in your personal life, it might be professional, it might be a combination of all of those. But if your bar is off to the left, this top bar, it's going to guard and protect you. And you might not be able to really create connections at a deeper level if that's happening. So that's a pretty big area. Brain telling you, like if you look at this one, brain's pushing pretty hard to say, I need you to be guarded and protected. It's going to be pretty tough to recruit people in this business if you're guarded. It's going to be pretty tough to have relationships if you're guarded. Does anybody have any questions about this top bar? I know we're out jumping right into like some deep stuff for a lot of you, but this is the one I gave an example on the last call where somebody said their bar was off to the left all the way, and they said, I don't feel like it. Like I present to people and I feel like I'm really connected and I'm empathetic and I'm open and I'm really there with people. And then I said, maybe you should ask some of the people you know the best. And she went and asked 3 of her best friends, and they came back and said, yes, you're very guarded. So again, the further out the bar goes, the more of you might not see it. How about the second bar? How many of you have the second bar off to the right? That one's saying your brain. Casey said she was all left to guarded the first one she took. Yeah, I remember that. She was all the way off to the left, like, I don't even want to deal with people. I want to get away. And she said after you, which is, I guess, after our coaching, she's completely balanced, which is huge. And you guys see how much more connected she is to people and how much more authentic she is once she moved that thought process over, right? If you look at the second bar off to the right, how many of you have that? Most of you. Most of you have the second bar off to the right. And what it says is that your brain is encouraging you to put too much focus on people based on how they look and or perform. So you're basically in judgment. Now, I know you're not judgmental people, but your brain is encouraging you to put judgment on people. It's encouraging you to put too much value on people based on how they look and or how they perform. And when you do that, you could get intimidated by people. You could put too much effort or energy into people based on how they look or perform. You could, it's prejudging in a nutshell. And you cannot influence the people you judge. That's critical. How many of you have this third bar off to the left? Honoring beliefs and values. It says skeptical. that's going to cause your brain to be skeptical and be too skeptical of things and may not be as open as it needs to be about things. Maybe your trust has been broken. Maybe people have told you they're going to do things. Your team says, I'm going to do it. I'm going to work. And they don't. Your bar could be off to the left here. How about the last one? How many of you have assessing people's challenges off to the left? Now, you might, as we identify some of these things, you might go, what do we do about it? I'll get to the what you do about it. For now, it's just the awareness of it. The bottom bar off to the left says, I've been taking care of people and caretaking for so long, and now I'm exhausted and I can't really show it for people anymore because I'm so exhausted with taking care of people. Right? I was talking with a woman a few years ago. She said she was a top leader in an organization, top 3 income earner actually. And I said, what's your goal for this year? And she said, I want to build a cabin in Montana. And I said, oh, Montana, you must like the outdoors. I said, no, I really don't like the outdoors. I'm a city girl. I said, well, your husband must like the outdoors. She said, no, he's a city guy. I said, well, you must like animals. And she goes, I don't like animals. I haven't been to the zoo in 20 years. I said, well, why would you want to move to Montana? And she said, because I know there's nobody there. Top income earner in her business, right? So if this bar is off to the left, it's going to really encourage you to not be around people and not really want to deal with people. So if you're trying to make this business work without people, it can be pretty tough. But you would never do that. Brain's doing that. It says people are exhausting. There's too much. Okay. Any questions about the connection section before we move on? I told you we're going to blaze through this stuff. Joy said, I guess that means you connect well with people. Meaning me? Yes.
Hey, Brandon, it's Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Hi. On the empathetic bar, can guarded show up in different ways where we don't really feel like we're guarded? We think we're something else. Like we just like to be by ourselves, or you know what I mean? Like, are there ways to tell like if you're really guarded or if you're just like showing up in a way that looks kind of similar to that, but it's not that? Or
well,
no?
Do you remember when we were at the event and oh my gosh, now I forgot it. Tell me who's doing the breathing exercises. What was her name?
Ashley.
Ashley. Remember what Ashley said? She said, my bar is all the way off to guarded, but I don't feel guarded. But then she asked some people.
I was one of the ones she asked. She's like, do you think I'm guarded? And I was like, yeah.
So have you checked in with that and asked some people, Chris, about whether you feel, because I see you as definitely getting your strength from being on your own. I love being by myself and getting strength when I'm alone and my alone time. In fact, I'm probably more of an introvert than an extrovert. But this isn't about that. This isn't a personality thing. This is saying having the ability to set space for people and not own their stuff, to really have empathy and be able to put yourself in their shoes. And when you're guarded and protected, it means your brain's saying there's something I've got to protect myself from people. So Chris, I view you as I don't think you're a person who's guarded, but I think your brain is encouraging you to be guarded.
I would agree.
And it doesn't mean that you need to be alone. It could be relationships have set that up. It could be all sorts of different things. And it's not you. Remember, it's your brain.
Okay. That was helpful. Thanks.
Yeah. And again, it's hard to identify all this, right? I'm giving you a ton of stuff. Susan said, what does your score represent? It just tells us overall how balanced everything is. So it's not a grade, right? It just tells us overall how balanced things are. So the lower the score, the less balanced, in other words. Okay, let's keep digging in. So go to the next section. Oh, one of the things that we do that help people with this entire connection section to get better is what's called intrinsic validation. It's a big part of what we teach people. Intrinsic validation. Now it's a big word. Validation intrinsically, to be able to intrinsically validate another person. So Chris, learning some skills to go in, and it's not like you don't already have the skills, but learning some different tools to validate people at a whole other level intrinsically could be the game changer in you letting go of owning things or whatever your brain might be doing. Your protection, validation is key. And one of the things we teach people to do is really step in and validate people from an intrinsic place, right? Not extrinsic. Extrinsic is, hey, you look good, good job, way to go. I love that. You did well. I mean, that's important, but intrinsic validation goes much deeper. And when you learn the art of intrinsic validation, you release the cooperation and productivity that people have. In fact, what we do in our coaching is we literally help people create 40% more productivity in their team by far. And I'm sure Casey can speak to 40% more productivity in our team just by learning the art of intrinsic validation. Chris said, is a validation the same as significance? Not even close. No. Significance is completely separate. Casey said, to be able to be in empathy and not having to be in the middle of their stuff has been so powerful. Yes. So significance, at least how I view significance, Chris, significance to me is my place in the world. Where do I fit? And validating somebody is not creating significance for them. They don't need that to feel significant. It might make them feel significant, but a little bit different. But I can talk to you more about that for sure. Okay, let's look at the next section, which is physical creation. I'm only going to cover one bar in physical creation because a lot of you have this bar off to the right. So actually I'll cover two because I see the top bar has a little bit with some of you too. So top bar off to the left. Physical creation, the next section. It's basically saying that your brain is viewing the day in and day out stuff as mundane and boring. It's just monotonous. You're not finding a lot of passion in the day in and day out work. Could be personal, could be professional, could be both. Now, part of it could also be because of that second bar. So look at this second bar. I looked at your assessments. 90% of the people on this call have the second bar off to the right. So here's what the second bar off to the right says. That your brain says that you have the right, perfect way of doing things. Your way, the right way, the perfect way. Now, I'm curious because I love to get some feedback now. Why would that create problems? Why would it create problems for you to have the right, perfect way of doing things, your way, the right way? How could that create issues for you? I'm curious. In life, in business, how could that show up in a negative way?
Because you're demanding duplication of people.
Ooh, you're demanding duplication of people. Okay, so how could this mess with you in that?
Because you feel like you have to do things just like the person that brought you into whatever business it is, or whoever your mentor is, or whoever your coach is. You have to do things the same way they do. And, I've learned along the way, and, Casey's helped me with this, is like, I don't have to duplicate. I can take what I'm good at, take what I learned from somebody else, put it together as my own and replicate it.
Yeah. I love that because I hear in this business all the time, you got to be duplicatable. You got to be duplicatable. The problem is if you buy into all that, then you end up showing up in this place that's not really your authenticity. You end up trying to be something you're not, which is really exhausting. We call it posturing. And Casey can talk all about posturing and the damage of that. She calls it a virus. I had the virus of duplication until you, Brandon. Yeah, I'm all about getting people to work and get them effective, but duplicatable, that puts you in this box, right? I'm not a huge fan of that. Like, I want you to be authentic. I want you to be real. The second bar will also cause you to not delegate. It'll say, I have the right way of doing it, the perfect right way, so I can't delegate anything to anybody because they can't do it as well as I do it. And then if I give them something, I just have to go redo it. Here's the other area, guys. This will show up in your intimate relationships. Man, it'll cause you to go into control mode in so many ways. Because again, you've got to do it all. Think about your to-do list when your bar's off to the right. Your to-do list is everything. I have to do it all. And you'll get resentful because you have to do it all. But you really don't have to do it all. It's just your brain saying you have to do it all if you want it done well. So it'll put you in this control space, just totally controlling. And Mary, it's not you, it's brain. That's the good news. It's just brain. It's not you. You're much more than your brain, but your brain's giving this advice. Unfortunately, these bad habits run us most of the time. So this will really, it'll wreak havoc in your relationship. It'll cause you to not delegate, and it'll cause you to be resentful because you got to do it all yourself. It'll cause burnout. Yeah, here's your to-do list. Everything, all of it. Get it all handled and get it all handled well. So some thoughts about that. Let's go to the next section. Sorry, I know we're blazing through this, guys. Disciplined thinking. Now, this is going to be a left foot. We're going to identify the left foot for a lot of you right now. So disciplined thinking is thoughts about thinking. And if you look at this top bar could have the biggest impact on your business than any other area here. Here's what the top bar says. And this can have a great impact on you working with people in your business, not only your team, but customers who are trying to lose weight, who are going on a cleanse. This top bar will impact all this stuff, because here's what it says. It says, when it's off to the left, it says, don't control me. I don't want to be controlled. Don't tell me what to do. Now, why would that be a problem? You might not be coachable, but the real problem lies in it says, I don't want to be controlled by anyone, including from myself. So how it shows up for food is like, for me, when I walk past a Starbucks coffee and I look in the casing and I see all that food in there and I'm like, I can't eat that. My brain says, or this part of my brain says, oh yeah, watch me. I'll have as much as I want. Don't tell me what to do. Or if you go to make a bunch of phone calls or schedule yourself in your calendar, like income producing activities, your brain will say, let's find something else to do. Don't tell me what to do. So this top bar is all about not wanting to be controlled, and it'll view discipline as controlling and restrictive. This could be the source of what's causing some of you to not work your business more effective or lose the weight you want to, and work with some of your team that may be doing the same thing. Let's look at the third bar. This is a left foot in a big way. Big way. Here's the third bar. It says, this will cause a few different areas, but the third bar off to the right says, it'll cause you to think in what's called black and white thinking. All, nothing, win, lose, right, wrong, good, bad. It'll cause you to defend what you know instead of learn what you don't. So if you ever get defensive, it's this thought process. I got defensive. I need to be right about my ideas. If you ever need to be right about your ideas and get defensive about your ideas, it's this bar. Do me a favor. Ask somebody, and here's a challenge for some of you, to ask somebody in your life who you feel like has been the most impacted by this, if your bar is off to the right, and just go to them and say, hey, there's something I learned tonight about my thought process. And I need you to be honest with me. What's it like being in a relationship with me when I need to be right? Ask them that question. And then all you're going to do is say, tell me more, help me understand. What's that like? And let them tell you, and notice if you get defensive. Notice if you get offended. Notice if you try to justify. If you ever say yes, but, or you try to justify things, or there's any kind of defensive or offensive stuff that goes on, it's this thought process. It's black and white thinking, and it causes more stress in your life than anything else. So for some of you, take this challenge on. What's it like being in a relationship when I need to be right? Some of you are like, well, I want my significant other now to take this assessment to find out whether they're off to the right, because I think they need to be right more than me. Yeah. So Chris says the yeah, but. Yep, that's it. Casey said, this has helped me so much going through my black and white thoughts. I didn't have them, but boy, oh boy, did I. Said, that I thought I didn't have. Yeah, this is a blind spot for a lot of people. And this bar is the hardest one in this entire assessment to move, to work on and really shift. It really is. Yeah. Okay, let's keep digging in. So let's go to the next section, which is mental creation. So if you have this online, now you go into your internal world and you look at mental creation. And I want to look at these, the top 3 bars tell us all about how you're being motivated. Top bar off to the left is being motivated out of obligation. Second bar off to the right is being motivated by perfection. Third bar off to the right is being motivated by fear. And you guys, if some of you have seen this cycle, what happens when you're motivated by obligation, fear, and perfection? You get tired, you rebel, you avoid, you feel guilty, then you recommit. We went through this in this last call. And so the only way through this is to do things because you want to, get to, and choose to, right? The choice. When you do things because you want to, get to, and choose to, it creates energy. You embrace, you take action, you're free of guilt, and now you're just committed. So how do you do things because you get to, want to, and choose to? You do them by just reframing some of your language. I want to because. I want to because. But those top 3 bars tell us all about what's motivating you. And it'll get you stuck in this obligation, fear, and perfection. How many of you have been stuck in there through some of your income producing activities? Like picking up the phone and making phone calls. Feels like an obligation. I have to. So I get tired. Then I rebel against it. Then I don't do it, but I feel guilty that I don't do it. So I recommit, start it all over again. Some of you have been in this cycle for weeks, months, some of you maybe even years. So there's a different way, doing things because you choose to, right? That's the different cycle. The other area we talked a lot about this last time on that last call was this third bar off to the right creates this fantasizer. And it ends up creating castles in the sky. Remember castles in the sky when you spend too much time visualizing where you think you need to be, where you end up focusing so much energy on arriving somewhere, wherever that somewhere is, that it ends up making reality look like this, dark and gloomy. Or the work that's required to get from here to there is dark and gloomy. You're not enjoying the journey. Creates this thing called an amygdala hijack. The amygdala, the part of your brain that creates fight, flight, or freeze, hijacks your prefrontal cortex, shuts it down. And then it leads us to this joy in the journey place. So look at the next section, which is joy in the journey. This is a big area. And I noticed that 80% of the people on this call have this top bar off to the left, which is telling me that your brain is focused on the gap between what should be versus what is. Somewhere in your life, your brain is saying, life should look like this. I should be making more money. My business should be more successful. My relationship should be better, something. And life is turning out differently. And the gap, your brain is focused on the gap between the two. And what it'll cause is it'll cause you to not see what's so amazing right in front of you. It'll suck you out of gratitude. And it doesn't mean you're not a grateful person. It just means your brain will have a hard time really focusing on gratitude because it sees the gap. It sees the big difference between what is and what it wants it to be. And it'll focus heavily on that arriving somewhere. Yeah, Amanda said, I love this applies to my whole life. It is. It's, guys, this might be your personal life. It's not just business. Anybody have any questions about this top bar? This one's big. And I see so many people suffer in life because they focus so heavily on where life should be. And again, notice your brains, the subconscious doesn't know the difference between perfection and reality. So it'll create the perfect scenario, the ideal, incredible scenario. And it's easy. How easy is it for you to create that scenario? You can see it so clearly. I know you can. And so you'll create it. And then in that situation, you come back and it's not the way it's supposed to be.
Brandon, is that because of belief? Like that we become disheartened because
I don't think it's belief. I think it's that it could be, you could have started believing that life is supposed to look a certain way. But I think it's just so much time spent on where we're supposed to arrive. Somewhere thinking we need to arrive here. We need to be here. We should be somewhere different. And I don't know, I guess it could be somewhat a belief. But it causes us to say that there's this arrival place. I need to arrive. And I can't see what's amazing right in front of me. It's like financially, I hear all the time people complain about their finances. And I'm like, I know I've traveled the world. Some of you have traveled the world. The average person lives on $35 a week. But yet we'll complain about the 2,400 square foot home we live in and our, $8,000 a month income or whatever that is. Right?
Kind of along the lines of like the power of now.
Well, it'll definitely cause you to not be present for sure. Yeah. And again, gratitude is the thing that as well as I do, that'll pull more into your life. It attracts more. It is the key to the law of attraction. So your brain might be an opposite effect of what's working for you right now. And again, nothing's wrong with you. It's not you, it's brain. But the brain's used to working these patterns. That's what happens. Mary, Barber makes me look like I hate my life. Not that you hate your life, just that there's somewhere that there's a difference and then it won't see the gratitude. And then it gets caught in patterns. It'll be critical of things, right? It'll criticize this and criticize that, criticize this, criticize that. I'll hear people, they'll say, I hate this, or I don't like this, I don't like this. And I'm like, what do you love? It's not about positive and negative thinking. It's your brain. Your brain is insisting to look at some arrival place. And if you look at these other areas, like the second bar off to the right, the third bar off to the right, trying to get it all done, try to arrive, trying to show up, trying to get it all done perfectly and living in this frantic place, it'll cause you to go in that multitasking space. Remember that multitasking thing we did last time where it took twice as long when you multitasked and it was more stressful and it was harder and it was like all these crazy things? This will cause you to multitask and not live in the present moment. Anybody have any questions about this particular area? This is a big one. This is joy in your journey. Like, this is so huge. And if you're not finding joy in the journey, what's the purpose? Like, having success without fulfillment, you guys know the story in that. The story is Robin Williams. The story is Chris Farley. The story has been told over and over again. The people with lots of success without fulfillment doesn't work. We look at the bottom bar off to the left. That one says, it's not saying your whole life is unhappy. It's just saying you might not be noticing the value that you bring day in and day out. That your brain's not noticing how much value you bring. And sometimes the work there is just to notice what value you do bring. Because my guess is you bring a lot more than you give yourself credit for. Anybody have questions about joy in my journey? Okay, we'll keep digging in. Let's go to the last section, which is self-esteem. Now, this runs deep for a lot of people. This says women's self-esteem peak when they're 9 years old and then takes a nosedive. Men are a little different. They got a little bit trickier thing, but men have just as many struggles with self-esteem as women, especially around the age of 40 to 50, right? Things start to take a little bit of a interesting turn. But this top bar is the second most important bar in this entire assessment. And 90% of you have this top bar off to the left. And what it tells me is your brain is putting conditions on whether or not you're enough. I'm good enough as long as. In my life, for years, and it still shows up at times, I'm good enough as long as I'm achieving at high levels, which forces me to have to go achieve. And if I'm not achieving, I feel guilty. So I achieve, I have to achieve. And if I don't achieve, I don't feel like I'm enough, right? So I'm constantly having to do something. And I feel guilty if I'm just being. Anybody feel that? That could be this top bar. Conditions. What conditions do you place on yourself to be enough? The other thing I used to do is, as long as my kids, my 4 kids, and my wife were happy, then I was okay. That means I was doing my job, but I had to make sure they were taken care of. So it didn't allow me to take care of me very much. So what conditions do you place on yourself for being enough? This could affect joining the journey big time. The second bar off to the left is more about your extrinsic worth. The top one's intrinsic worth, second one's extrinsic. So if it's off to the left, you're second guessing how you look or how you're performing. But either way, it'll be an internal dialogue that I'm not enough, I'm not good, I can't do it like so-and-so. It'll have some of that stuff. Look at the fifth bar. Fifth bar off to the left is establishing my boundaries. And that one says that you'll sacrifice yourself for everybody and everything. That you'll have a hard time saying no. You'll volunteer for too much. You'll take too much on. You'll literally people please, and you'll sacrifice you for everybody else so that everybody else is happy. And then you're not as strong and great as everybody else. This bar is the mask bar, right? You get on the airplane, and this is the one that's, you put on your mask on first. This bar will go, no, let me put everybody else's on first, and then I'll put mine on. The problem is, if you do that, you pass out and die unless somebody gets a mask on you. So you may get a mask on one person, but good luck. And again, not you, not personality, brain. It's just brain. It's brain that creates this stuff, right? The problem is this. Oh, hang on, we have a question. It says, I'm confused. Finding joy in my life is in the red, but my unconditional is balanced. It's okay. What that means, Mary, is that your brain knows that you have value at a core. But somewhere in your life, finding joy in your life, somewhere it's not seeing where you bring value. But it's still underneath, you know your self-worth. So your brain's giving good advice, but the problem is when some of those bars go off the left, they might get in the way of you listening to that good advice. The good advice sometimes whispers, and the bad advice is sometimes screaming. It's really loud. So you can have some bars balanced and some not. And they can be related, but it doesn't have to mean they're both off. Anybody have any questions about anything we went through in the assessment? I know we blazed through that thing and we didn't cover every bar. But no worries, you can do that on your own, or you can let somebody on my team go through that with you. See, you're not broken. Bad habits have more traction than good intentions. So the coaching stuff that you've ever done, the books you've read, whatever you've done in your life to fix these problems and fix these issues, and they keep showing up, listen, there's nothing wrong with you. The problem is you're human. That's it. Bad habits have more traction than good intentions. Bad habits have more traction than eagerness. Bad habits have more traction than strong will. They just do. And the problem is most people don't really get the right help around these things. So I see people struggle over and over and over again. I see them struggle to not find joy in the journey. I see them struggle to not find more peace in their life. I see them struggle to not really dig in at a core level. And I see this over and over again. I see them not making the money they know they deserve in this business. I see them quit and give up too easy. I see them try to achieve at high levels and not get there. And I know it doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to suffer in life. You just don't. So that's why we've created a program. And what we want to roll out to you guys today is, it's called Live Your Potential Coaching. And what our coaching exists of is it's Zoom calls. We do a Zoom call every other week for 6 months. Our coaching is a 6-month program. So it is we know that's our sweet spot, right? We get you over 6 months. We can really make a change. We can really make an impact, but we need 6 months. We need 6 months. It's not 30 days. It's not 6 weeks. It's not, 4 videos to go watch. And our coaching consists of these Zoom calls as well as videos that we have in our vault. It's a video vault. We have 40 plus videos that literally are little tiny 5 to 15 minute videos that I've created around some of these areas to just help you keep it top of mind. Like, think about if you're in a situation where you're working on some things in your life and you're like, oh yeah, what about some of that self-esteem? What are those things again? And you could click on a video that's 5 minutes about self-esteem, and another 5 minutes about this thing called inner bonding, where you learn how to bond with yourself. And there's another 5-minute video on how to get into gratitude, just like that. And there's another 5-minute video on intrinsic validation. They're actually more like 10, 15 minutes. They're not 5 minutes, but just having that resource with you at all times. And then having live calls, both group and one-on-one, to be able to process through this stuff. That's what our coaching consists of. That's what it looks like. And so the first month, we dig into this whole concept of connection. We literally teach you how to get 40% more productivity from your team. So I want you to think right now, if you have a team of 1 or a team of 1,000 or more, what would your life be like right now if you got 40% more productivity from your team in 2019? And it didn't require you to be duplicatable or lose yourself. It actually required you to be authentic. But if you could get 40% more cooperation and productivity from your team, what would that look like? We'll give you the tools. We'll give you the tools to literally connect at a deeper level. Intrinsic validation is a real thing, and you'll learn how to practice it. You'll learn the art of it the very first month. The second month, we dig into that expectation area. So that mental creation. Remember the area that said you are in obligation. You feel obligated. I have to, I must, I should. We'll get you to a place where you work from choice, get to, want to, choose to, and then give you the tools to be able to learn how to process that on a daily basis. And then the videos are there during the times we're not coaching that you can go tap into and watch, right? You just go grab a video, go grab this video. And they're all labeled for you, and they're built into modules. So they're really easy to pick up. We'll teach you how to eliminate this expectation thing, this killer of, the killer of passion, really. The killer of, it's a control thing. You'll literally, when you start letting go of expectations, your relationships will change dramatically. Your relationships with your kids, your relationships with your significant other, your relationships with your team, they change dramatically. And you go from frustration to joy like that. Looks like I forgot to answer a question here. Can my 14 and 17-year-olds take the assessment? Absolutely. My 11-year-old, I had my 11-year-old take the assessment. Actually, last year when he was 10, I had him take it, and even he got it. So you get accurate results giving this to your kids. The third month, we literally teach you how to get into flow. You'll get into the zone. You'll start doing in hours what took days before. You'll literally get 15 hours back in your day. And here's why, guys. It's really simple. You spend most of your time thinking, not necessarily doing. So we'll get you out of your head, and we'll literally get you into a place where you get into that flow and that zone so much faster. It'll feel better. You'll be in the now. Colors will seem brighter. Things will taste better. Life just looks different, and you literally get 15 hours back in your week. The fourth month is all about letting go of that obsessive thinking about thinking, going down the rabbit hole, letting go of that, and reducing all this worry and catastrophizing. Also, the need to be right, we drop it. It's gone. You'll literally stop needing to be right and justifying. You'll stop the stress in your life. The left foot stress area will literally it'll be gone. The fifth month's all about enjoying the journey, magnetizing other people, diving into gratitude. Literally, you'll feel like a magnet. If you don't already, you'll even feel like a bigger one. Self-esteem, we let go of this shame game. I teach you the concept of inner bonding, how to self-soothe and inner bond with yourself. Powerful, powerful tool. And you'll literally end this comparison cycle. Now, we take the green bars, right, and make more of those green bars, and we take the yellow, orange, and red bars, and we create green. Now, yes, it's going to show up in your report, and you're going to see more green, but you're going to feel better. You're going to see results in your business. You're going to see results in your relationships. You're going to see difference. And some of you, there's a lot of you on this call who signed up for this coaching process in the Atlanta event that we did. But you want to hang on because there's a huge gift for all of you. So one of the ways to get this coaching is to coach with me. One-on-one, elite. I think a couple of people at the event did this, and they said, hey, I want to work with you, Brandon, for the next 6 months, one-on-one and group coaching in what's called our elite program. And you can still do that. It's $7,000. You can pay for it on a monthly basis, but it's $7,000 to work with me. And we have all these testimonials. I mean, I could list testimonial after testimonial. Some of you know this person. If you do, great. If you don't, this is Rhonda Collier. She said, within minutes of coaching, I became very aware of the deeply buried things that were preventing me from living my fullest expression of myself. And we keep digging in. She says, truly, it is hard to fully express the impact coaching had on me. I will say it's greatly affecting every area of my life, my family, my love life, my friends, fun life, and for sure my business life. Words can't express my gratitude. I have big plans for life, and this was and is absolutely necessary for me to execute the next level of my soul's calling. So again, we have numerous testimonials of people in your company. This is just one example. But here's the thing. If you want to do this elite coaching with us, just email me at either support or brandon@brandonbarbercoaching.com. And we make you jump through a few hoops to do it. We'll have you fill out a little questionnaire just to make sure you're serious about it, because it's a pretty massive commitment. And I got to make sure that I have spots too, because we only allow a certain amount of elite people in our program right now. So if you want to do elite coaching, then I just need you to email me. That's it. So email me at support or Brandon@BrandonBarberCoaching. Another way to get our coaching, you don't have to spend $7,000 to get our coaching. It's one way to do it. Another way is to do it's a combination, and we rolled this out at the Atlanta event, of our group and our one-on-one. So you can do our group coaching and our one-on-one together, which means it's a group call every other week and then a one-on-one call once a month. The one-on-one call is with somebody on my team, and the group coaching that we offered was with somebody on my team as well. And we offered this at the event, and a lot of you signed up for this program and said, I want to do the $397 a month. Over 6 months, I get both group and a one-on-one coaching. It's a no-brainer, right? I want to do that. And we have all the testimonials, right? We can talk about Rebecca Caffiero said, this is my secret weapon. I've had my first multiple 5-figure months and 5-figure weeks since coaching. I'm now one of the top 200 businesses for my company in the world. My business has grown 50% in 6 months. I've attracted more leaders in the past 6 months than I did 2.5 years prior. And then her and her husband her and Gino, right? They have this amazing relationship that they've taken to a whole new level because of this coaching. And one of the things that I let you all do at that Atlanta event was sign up you can bring your significant other into this. So you can do it as a couple. Now, here's the cool thing. Even if you signed up at this event or you're like, I'm in, Casey has gone above and beyond, and she set it up. So she's literally going to be paying a chunk of that coaching am I right when I say, Casey, everybody on this call?
Yes, that's correct.
Everybody on this call, she is paying for some of this coaching for all of you. This is it. Now, not the elite coaching. The elite coaching that's with me. Email me if you want to do that. So the other coaching, that's $397 a month for one-on-one and group, which is already a killer deal. You guys are going to get that program for $297 because Casey's going to cover the other $100 a month for every single person on this call. Yes, I said that. And here's what else she talked me into doing, that I'm going to do the group. So the group coaching, the program that we do, the group, I'm going to facilitate it. So you guys get me as the facilitator. Now, if you're doing the one-on-one and group and not doing elite with me, that's still going to be done by somebody on my team. Okay. So the $297 a month is group and one-on-one, which I believe very strongly in. And those of you that already signed up, you're like, man, I just got a massive gift. You can thank Casey for that gift because she wants to invest in you guys. That's how much she believes in this. And she's literally giving you guys this gift. And we're going to take it a step further. So for those of you that are like, hey, gosh, $297 might still be a stretch, then here's what else we'll do. We'll let you do $197 a month for just group. Okay, so that's just the group. There's no one-on-one in that, but I'll facilitate the group. This is over 6 months, just so you guys know. So it's a 6-month program. So $197 a month gives you just group. $297 a month gives you group and one-on-one. That's all pricing thanks to Casey, right? This is all of this, $100 more that we offer. We offer a smoking deal at all of our events, and it's event-only pricing. Guys, I haven't offered this coaching pricing for a long, long time. So you can thank Casey for this. This is her gift to you. Let me make sure I'm clear. $197 a month over 6 months gives you the group coaching. $297 a month over 6 months gives you the group and the one-on-one, and I'm facilitating the group. Now, this is a huge link here. I asked my assistant to get a link, and this is the link that she gave me. So Casey just put it in, so did I.
Got it in the group.
This is just the deposit. This is saying, I want in on this, and this is putting down a $47 deposit. That's all you're going to do. But you go, I'm in, I want part of this. It's a $47 deposit that you're putting down. There's a few other questions that we ask you when you go to this link, but this gets you into this coaching, which we're only making available until next Wednesday at midnight, and then it's gone. So this deal is for you guys and you guys only.
You're welcome. I saw
I don't know
it.
if there's anything else.
Saw those things.
This is huge, guys. This is massive.
You know, it's like the first off, you know, I mean, to have Brandon. And so here's what I'll say too. So being in the elite coaching, because I've done the elite coaching with Brandon, and I'm able to be on his calls and his coaching. And I was talking to other people that do your elite coaching as well. And it's like the things that we learn listening to you coaching, I often feel I learn more sometimes on those than I do myself, because I'm able to listen and hear it differently when I'm observing what somebody else is going through and then listening to how you're coaching, because you know, you want to serve people and your team and coach people in personal development. It's like, I'm not a mindset coach. I don't know all these studies. You know, it's like personal development is so key, but it's like, I'm not a coaching person, right? I'm a network marketer. I love people. I can do retreats. I like breathing, all those things, but I am not a mindset business coach. And so to be able to bring this in the way, you know, that you do it, but and to have you do the group coaching when normally people only get that do the, you know, almost $8,000 amount. So to have that alone, it's just thank you for working with me and offering this, because I know that you're taking a cut as well with your time. But yeah, just you guys, I'm just, for any of those who want to join it, it's going to be so great too, you know, us going into the 90-day game plan. The MYKO is about to roll out, and it's just, we're all in isogenics. So just the examples, to hear the conversations, to hear others in the group coaching, what's going through, listen to that, how to say, you know, just to how to then help your team that's going through the same things I've been able to do just from listening to you with other people. So I'm so excited. So you guys, we spend more on our nails and our hair or Starbucks coffee and this and that than what this can be. So the investment on this, and that's why I'm willing to pony up, you know, $100 a month for everyone who's willing to jump in it as well, is because I know the value, and I just believe in every single person on here. And you know, we always say, you know, you take one step, I'll take one step, and I'm really putting my money where my mouth is, right? You take one step, I'll take one step too, because there's just nothing like it. So I just can't wait to be a part of this and go through the entire you know, series again, but with my tribe, and not just the elite coaching of Brandon with people in other companies and things. And so I'm honored to be doing it again. And I just thank you, Brandon. I love you. And yeah, I just want everybody to experience what I've experienced with you. So, thank you.
Well, it's huge. I've never had a leader like put that kind of money into her team before. I've never had it happen. So it says a lot about your leadership. And oh my gosh, you guys, this is huge. And she talked me into making this happen. And here's the thing. Even though we're discounting the price, and we're really not, because I'm getting paid the same, although I'm going to be doing the coaching, it doesn't change our guarantee. Like literally, we guarantee this. If you go through this 6 months and your life isn't changed dramatically, personally and professionally, I'll work with you for free until it does happen. So that's our guarantee for sure. We still mark this as, hey, this is legit. Like this is we're gonna make a change. This isn't some of the coaching programs you've done in the past. I know there's other things out there. We're gonna make a massive shift in your life, and we guarantee it. You will have breakthroughs. I guarantee it. So here's where you go. Oh, the other thing I was going to tell you, part of what's included in this as just because is there's this Facebook mindset makeover group that you'll be part of as part of coaching. If you're not going to coach with us, I would say this is a, kind of a no-brainer, $19 a month. But as part of the coaching, you get this for free. So you get the mindset makeover as well as this. And it's just a Facebook group you can tap in. You'll see me go live a lot and see me talking about some of the stuff that we're digging into the coaching. This is a really cool tool. And you can be part of this if you're not doing the coaching for $19 basically. But if you're coaching, it's free. And then if you decide to coach today with us or do the Facebook group, I'm going to give you these 5. They're CDs, but really what we do is we give you the downloadable file. So I'm going to give you all of you guys this absolutely free. So this is what you guys will get as part of all of this. And again, if you already signed up for coaching at the Atlanta event and you're on Casey's team, you guys get the reduction automatically. And we've already put that into place. We're already making that happen. So all we're asking is that if you signed up, you're good. You don't have to do anything. You're already ready and set. But if you haven't, this is the link to go to. Again, I'll type it in here and paste it. There you go. And it's a $47 deposit that says, hey, I'm in this. I'm ready to go. But this is a massive, massive gift from Casey, guys. I promise you, this will change how you do business. This will change how you live your life. And it'll be way, way better. So I'd love to earn the right to work with you.
Go ahead. I was just thinking how you get to love so much more. You love to earn the right. I cut you off.
No, that's it. I'd love to earn the right to work with everybody on this call. And I'd love to find out if anybody has any questions or anything at all these last 5 minutes, if there's anything I can do to answer any questions from anybody about anything.
While you guys are thinking of questions, let me just say this. The year of 2019 breaks down in numerology to numero uno 3. 3 is the year of the Trinity. That is the year for miracles. It's just all the things that I've been doing. This is the year for miracles. And I just believe you to be a miracle, Brandon Barber, and your team and the coaching. And so I'm excited to just be doing 2019 and coming out of NYKO. And for those of us in 90-day game plans to be really incorporating this as such a hub of it. Because I know you say, I don't teach you business skills. I think you teach the most important business skills there are. Anybody can learn how to do a Facebook post. Anybody can learn those systems, the art of opening and connection and empathy and all those things. Oh my gosh. Like, me and my brother, that is the business, because this is a people business. So I think you sell yourself short on that statement. You teaching some business skills.
I will make that statement. All right, I will make that statement.
Any questions, you guys, before we get off? I mean, Brandon did an incredible job showing it. Obviously, you guys can reach out to me too. Oh, go ahead.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
As far as, I mean, obviously, when you say jump, I've jumped since I've met you almost 3 years ago. Every program you've recommended has added value to my life. But I mean, what I want to know is, how is this different? Like, I've loved all the growth you stuff we've done, like the David T.S. Wood stuff we've done. Like, is this a same type of like figure out your characteristics type program, or is this like teach you how to be a networker type of program? Like, take all that and cultivate it into this. Like, we're going to take you and teach you how to take isogenics to the next level, not like dig into your psyche and find out how much more fucked up you are at like on whatever level. Because I feel like all these programs I do it just takes you back to like, okay, you're screwed up there, you got to fix that. Okay, you're screwed up there. You got to fix that. Like, and all this shit from the past digs up. And so I find myself in constant like repair mode when I don't want to be in repair mode. I want to be in continual growth mode. Like, and not just from a personal standpoint, but I want to grow my business. Like, I don't want to say I'm tired of growing me, but is this program like business focused, or is it more in the psyche like that, you know, like a growth you type
For
program?
sure. I've never been inspired to be in more action and been more productive and yet still having more downtime and still more results. And the thing that I think is so different about this too that I've experienced is it's like it's not nearly as time consuming as everything else has been either. And like, I don't know how that is, but it's like when I think about the amount of work that has gone into other programs or even looking at completion rate, this is the only thing where I've actually wanted to get on and freaking do my modules and actually go through it and be like enthusiastic about getting on. And it's because that it's not just like, okay, yeah, you're effed up and all these things, and so here's what's wrong with you. It's like the way that to break down just your ability to connect, your ability to empathize, to have joy in the journey versus like, okay, you know, being so outcome focused, so goal oriented. Well, that's great too, but like, let's take it, like break it down a little bit more and about the process. And I think so many of the programs have had us living in castles in the sky, right? And psychotic, right? We've moved in versus like getting really good at like loving the process and tying in. And I think you guys alone, planning and power sessions, if you can really implement planning and power sessions that Brandon Barber goes through, that alone was worth the $8,000 that I paid to coach with Brandon Barber. Like that alone was worth it. So like, because that allowed you to take it and be intentional, focused action, balls out productivity, but then still being able to focus on important areas with your family, with your life, and all of those things too, you know? So yeah, it's completely different than anything that I've experienced. And, you know, 100% guarantee if you don't feel like you get the results, the 40% increase, he'll keep working with you until you do. And I've never had a program offer that. So.
And it is business. It is business and personal. It's a combination of both. So we don't want you in repair mode. We want you living in your excellence. So we get you in your excellence fast. And you will work your business way more effectively. But this isn't the tool that says, here's how to do a Facebook post, or here's how to talk to, you know, it's not the how to as much as the mentality. The bottom line is 90% of your business is mindset. 10% is the actual mechanics. So we don't teach the mechanics. You already know the mechanics. There's something that's getting in your way of doing the mechanics, or you'd be doing the mechanics.
And your team and you're so great, I think, because of just working with so many direct sales marketers in teams, of then trickling down into teams too. And so that's really because it's so team-centered focus. I think for me, that's where I've seen the productivity too, you know, so.
For sure. You will get more productivity out of your business. You'll get 40% more productivity out of your team. You just will. And whether that's a team of 3 or
identity, it's about balls out action, but effective action and enjoying the action in an authentic way for you, which then allows us to take all the skill sets that we know that we all learn that Isogenics teaches brilliantly, right? And then implement it authentic and true for us.
That's a commercial. I like that.
Yeah.
That was good. Balls out. Can I use that?
Yeah, you can. Balls out, lights out, action. So yeah. And
any other questions?
So thank you so much for doing this. Next level. Yay. It's gratitude for you guys too. So let's rock and roll it. I know I'll be seeing so many of you guys in 2019, and any more questions that you guys have, like reach out. And but yeah, there's the link, and then Brandon put just the support at Barber coaching.com too. Any questions, just send them over there and we'll be good to go. Any questions? What is entailed in the private coaching part over what happens in the group? I can just tell you from a personal standpoint. I mean, Brandon can speak on that too, but I can tell you from a personal standpoint. I mean, it's just more time for you to dive in, you know, to you. And I know the value that I have in the one-on-one coaching has been massive. But again, sometimes I feel like I learn more about things listening to how Brandon is coaching other people, me listening to him coach them. You know, so not just necessarily me, but then when it's you, you can get, and I don't know, sometimes you might feel a little bit more comfortable to be vulnerable. I think on a one-on-one versus a group, which working on vulnerability, that can be something. But for me, the one-on-one is just, it's all about you. So that's how I would say it.
That's well said. Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions? We'll go. I'll just give you this last, like here was the breakdown again, just so you guys know what you're doing. But if you go to that site, you'll do a deposit, and then here's the different programs. So there's group, only $197 a month over 6 months. The group and one-on-one is $297 a month over 6 months. And then if you have questions about the elite coaching, you can email me.
And I have this recorded
guys,
too, guys. So I'll put the recording. So anybody that you want to share it with, or any of your team members to do it with them too, I will put it out there.
So you're giving this to all their team members too?
Anybody that's in my downline.
Wow.
You know, nice Eugenics comp plan, Brandon, it all rolls up. We ain't a level company.
Pretty awesome.
Their team is my
guys,
team.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
One big family.
So we have some big, I have some big expectations to fulfill, which is taking every single one of you to the next level. So I look forward to working with you guys.
Let's do it. Let's rock and roll. So, all right, I'll see a lot of you guys soon. And yeah, any questions, you guys, reach out to me. But meditate on it, pray on it, feel on it. We ready. 2019, the year of the 3 miracles. Let them rain in. So,
all right, guys.
Thank you, Brandon. Love you, my brother. Love you guys.
Yeah. Thank you. We'll see you. Thanks, guys. Take care, all of you. We'll see you later.
Thank you so much, Casey and Brandon. Love you guys.
For
Yeah,
sure.
thank you. Thanks, Tom.
Bye, guys.